All right, first thing I want to say is welcome and thank you for being here. If you are a working parent and you have been trying to lose body fat, get stronger, and feel more confident in your body again, and especially doing it without living in a gym or giving up time with your family, you are in the right place. Because over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to make fitness and nutrition fit into your real life and not the other way around. So if you've ever felt like, hey, I'm constantly spinning my wheels here, I've been trying program after program, diet after diet, and every time I end up frustrated because I'm back at square one, you're not alone. By the end of this video, my goal for you is for you to know the exact three-step process that has helped hundreds of parents finally start over on their fitness journey for the last time. If you are new here, my name is Tim Jeremini. I've been a coach for over 15 years, and I'm the owner of Elevated Performance Coaching. This is my family. I have a son now, but this is also my wife and my daughter, and I know exactly what it's like to be a parent struggling with health because I have been there, and now I help clients regain that control of their health so that they can be consistent, they can lose body fat and build strength and feel like themselves again. And the truth is, most parents that I talk to aren't actually lacking in motivation. They're lacking a system that works for their lifestyle because between work, kids, their schedules, your schedules, and just everything else, fitness ends up being just one more thing on the to-do list. And I think for a lot of you, it's deep down. You still want to feel proud of that person in the mirror. You want to have more energy when you get home from work. You want to be able to keep up with your kids and feel strong again and not have to start over every few months. And that's exactly what this training is about. So I want you to picture this for a second. You wake up with energy in the morning, and as much as I love coffee, you're not always relying on coffee just to function, right? You're putting on clothes that feel comfortable again, and when you do finish your workday, you still actually have that energy to play with your kids. You can help them with homework, and you can actually just enjoy your evenings, and you're doing it without spending the entire day and in hours in the gym. You're not eating separate meals from your family either, and all of those things are possible when you have a plan that is actually just built for your life and not somebody else's. If you take Eric here, Eric is one of my clients for a long time. He's a father of three, and he went from overwhelmed, lacking confidence, to being stronger and more consistent than he's ever been. And this is Diana, who she wanted to be around for her kids, her potential grandkids. And one of the things that we stumbled upon was we regained a ton of mobility and a ton of energy that she hadn't felt in over a decade. And Javier, this is probably one of the biggest transformations that I've worked with. He struggled for years just to be able to stick to a plan, and he's been consistent for over 18 months straight. And one of the biggest things that he said was, I actually feel confident taking off my shirt again at the beach, which is just a huge win as a guy. And, these are real parents with real jobs, busy schedules, and the same struggles that you're having, but we've been able to find a system that works for them and works for their life. So, before I share my actual three-step process, let me tell you how I kind of discovered it. After my wife and I had kids, obviously for us and for any parent, everything kind of really changed. And so I was juggling work. I'm juggling a new family, a really young family, and I'm still trying to make time to train. I've been a strength and conditioning coach for a long time, and it was my life. Training was a really big part of it. And so when I was trying to adjust, I tried every program out there. I tried early morning workouts, late night workouts. I thought if I couldn't work out as much, maybe I just had to be more restrictive with my meal plans. But nothing actually ended up sticking because I could not figure out a schedule that allowed me time to work out as often as I wanted to and what I was used to. And so I even remember thinking that maybe I just have to accept being out of shape as a busy parent, which was really hard for me. But it did hit me that, my workouts, my nutrition weren't actually the problem I thought it was my system. That was the real problem because I realized that my workouts, they need to be scheduled in my calendar just like everything else was in my day. And so I did something really simple, but it ended up being really powerful is, my wife and I sat down, we looked at our schedules and decided exactly when, I was going to work out, how long I could work out each week, and literally put it in my calendar step for step, and we did the same thing for her as well. So, once I started to treat my workouts like any other appointment in my calendar, that to me really was where, everything shifted because I became consistent and that helped me get stronger. I got leaner and I was able to get my confidence back and probably most importantly, just feel like myself again, especially as a new dad. And so over the past 7 years since then, I've helped over more than 500 working parents do the exact same thing. And I think to me, the best part is they didn't have to sacrifice family time or live on, boring chicken and rice to get there. We're actually able to have meals that they enjoy the taste of. And so I want that for everybody else. I want other people to experience this for themselves and not have to struggle, like I did. And so the core problem, right? Let's talk about what's really kind of like standing in your way. Because to me, it's not discipline. It is not even your age. It is not that you don't have time. The real problem is you don't have a system that fits for your specific life. And once you fix that, everything else actually becomes a lot easier. And so my three step process helps you actually create that system that fits into your already full life so that you can get stronger, you can lose fat, and you can feel like you're in control of your life again. All right, so let's dive in. So the first step here is what we want to do is it's a very simple but crucial step is we want to take inventory. And before you even think about, workouts, nutrition, you need to have a clear picture of your reality. So we want to go over and you want to look at this for yourself of how many days can you actually and realistically train? What equipment do you have access to? What is your current eating routine like? Like who does all the cooking, the grocery shopping? Who are you eating with? And once you can figure out what the roadblocks have been that have held you back, that's when you can really start to make a change and to make a dent in it. So the biggest thing is when we skip this step, we end up trying to follow plans that were never designed for us in the first place. And that's why so many people do actually burn out because they're trying to force their life around a plan instead of building a plan around their life. So once you can take inventory, you can start creating a plan that actually fits for you. So Zach is a really good example of this. He's one of my clients. He is a business owner and a coach, and he's a dad of two. And for him, the key was setting a realistic schedule for his workouts. We wanted to have backup options in there for when he did travel because he was really busy with work. And we had to let go of the idea that more is actually better. And once we were able to do that, that's when his consistency skyrocketed, and that's when his results did too, because there wasn't this feeling of, hey, if I'm trying to do more and more doesn't work, that becomes a feeling of failure. So once we lost that part of it, that was a really crucial step for him. So we want to move then into step 2, right? And that's actually following a custom plan. So once you know your schedule, you know your starting point, you need a plan that's actually built for you, and we have to follow that really well. So that means workouts that are designed around your time, the equipment you have access to. What's your fitness level also? Are you doing things that you don't have a lot of experience doing quite yet? We don't want to do something that's copied from the internet. And so that also means nutrition that has to be flexible. It has to be family friendly, something that you can actually still enjoy meals together and you don't have to eat, with guilt. And another good example of this is John, and he's one of my clients. John is a lawyer with 3 kids, and he also plays in 2 men's leagues. And so we looked at every possible thing that could derail his week, right? So we looked at building solutions for each one of those as well. And we had at-home workouts for when life was busy. We had gym workouts for his normal schedule. And then we focused on what do we get to add in? How do we get to add in protein to each meal? How do we get to add in fruits and vegetables? And that's what a real plan looks like. It meets you where you're at and it adjusts with you. We're not focusing on what we're taking out. We get to focus on what we're adding in. And when you actually have a plan that is tailored to you and to your lifestyle, you can finally stop kind of just guessing on every single thing that you're doing, and you can see steady, repeatable progress along the way with it. And so those are the first 2 steps. And when we do that, we want to then move into completing the 90%. It doesn't have to be 100%. We want to go into the long-term results, completing that 90%. And this means hitting your workouts and your nutrition habits most of the time. We're not chasing perfection. You don't need to be 100% perfect. You just need to be 90% consistent with it, okay? When we focus on progress, not the perfect 100%, we stop the all or nothing cycle that actually ends up keeping people stuck, okay? So Sarah is a really good example of this. She's one of my clients. She's a mom of 2. She works full-time. She spends her weekends at her kids' games. They have travel ball. They just have a lot going on as a family. And so we focused on what she could add, right? The same thing as before. We could add more protein. We could add more movement to her day instead of all the things that we're cutting out. We don't focus on the negative. We're focusing on what we get to add in, the tasty foods. If we can add the good, it can start to help remove some of the bad. And when she couldn't get to the gym, we always want to make sure that we had her 10-minute at-home workouts that are ready to go. So we kept the ball rolling downhill in the right direction for her. And that's really the difference of constantly starting over versus finally able to be consistent, is always having something that we can possibly do. Okay, so recap, right? We want to take inventory. Once we get that plan set up, we want to follow that plan, and we want to focus on doing that 90% of the time. And so as you're kind of going through all this, right, you have some options here, right? You can absolutely try to figure out all this on your own. I mean, I did it, and I do this for a living, and it still took me a lot of trial and error. Or you can skip those steps, and you can work directly with me. So what you can do is you can go down below in the link. You can book a short call with me by clicking that link below. You can start an application for us to be able to actually have a conversation. So I want to go over, when you do coach one-on-one with me, here's what you do get out of it. So you'll get a custom workout plan designed around everything about your schedule so that you can get stronger. And we can do it as little as 30 minutes a session. We'll always have the backup options ready for you so you have something that you can always do. And you'll know exactly what you're supposed to do every day. And every exercise that's in there has, video demonstration, so there's no confusion, there's no guesswork, the exact amount of sets and reps, everything that you need to do. You'll also get a flexible and a family-friendly nutrition plan. So we're not going to be doing strict diets and separate meals from your family. Some things you'll have to tweak a little bit, but we want it to be, flexible, and for you to feel like, hey, this is actually custom to me, and this is actually easy. I can follow this. I'm eating the foods that I enjoy the taste of. And then with theirs, you're also going to have daily and weekly accountability check-ins in the app. So I'm basically right there in your pocket to have good conversations, to build that relationship, and so you always know what to do next. And then I believe in education is a really big part of this. And so what I did was I added in 15 educational videos covering everything from workouts, nutrition, and routine building. So you have all the tools to succeed in the long term, not just the short term. And this is a complete system that I've used that has helped hundreds of parents regain their confidence, gain their strength, and gain control over their lives again. Andrea is a really good example of this one. Andrea is a really busy business owner. She has 3 kids in sports. And once we put her plan in place, she stopped overthinking and finally felt confident. We had the go-to meals for her. We had workout options that fit into her routine. And she knew I have everything at my disposal here to be successful. And Matt works from home. He used to feel drained, basically sitting inside all day. His office is in his basement. There's no windows in there, and so it wasn't a very good atmosphere for him to be in a healthy mindset a lot of the time. So we kind of started to implement some things in there that now, Matt's actually walking up to 8,000 steps per day. We're taking meetings outside, so we're getting sunlight. He's more productive at work than he's been before, and he's actually exercising, and he feels like he's in a brand new space, essentially. David's a new dad, overwhelmed by trying to adjust life with a new baby. I was there. And for David, what we did was we switched into shorter workouts, right? We did 30-minute sessions 4 times a week instead of focusing on an hour 5 times a week. So we did a little bit less, and we put them directly into his calendar. We did it on our call together, and for him, it really helped him be consistent. He started to regain confidence when we were doing that, and now he's thriving in both the fitness and in the fatherhood space. And so that's what happens, again, when you follow a system that is actually built for you. It becomes so much easier for you to actually go out there and go to do it. So what I want you to do next is I want you to click the link below this video, book a free 15-minute call, and we can have a quick conversation and where we're going to talk about, hey, what are your goals? What are the challenges that you're experiencing that's stopping you from getting there? And then let's figure out the right steps for you. And so, worst case, we have a great conversation. I can help point you in the right direction to help you get started. And then best case is, hey, maybe we decide, hey, we're going to work together, and you can finally start over on your fitness journey for the last time. Because again, when you have a system that fits into your life, you're not just, it's finally fitting for you. You're not just here to lose fat and to build strength, but you're also gaining confidence. You're gaining energy. You're gaining the ability to show up fully for yourself and for your family. And I'm here to help make that happen for you. So what I want you to do, book your 15-minute call. Let's get started. All right, let's do this together, you and me. And I also want to say thank you for watching this, and I can't wait to help you make that next step.